Choice. Lot of lost souls, lot of bad hoes, lot of good drinks, lot of good smoke, lot of good breeze. Gotta make cheese, don't blame me if I move snow. Out of my mind, out of my into her, out of her clothes. I'm a damn G. She gon' fuck me, 'cause that bitch knows. And I am sorry, I can't be there for you, baby. And I am sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Earley Show. I'm your host, Cole Earley. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Today, I wanted to talk about a number of things, but I'm just going to keep it down to one, just because I could sit here for an hour and just talk and rant. So, first of all, it's last week's video I talked about losing weight, getting on the cut. So, I've lost my Christmas weight. The weight that I put on for Christmas, the cookies, the yada, yada, yada. But now I got to lose the next 15 pounds, which is just eating and cardio. I haven't been jumping rope prior till last Saturday, but every day after my workout, I've started to jump rope. And that is by far my favorite form of cardio. I like to jump rope in front of a mirror because I can see my fat jiggling up and down. And I like to think that I can see what I can be, because you see the abs underneath when you jump, jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. I don't know. It's fun too. I don't know if you ever jumped rope, but it's fun. So definitely recommend you, if you need a different, more fun version of cardio, get a jump rope and jump. I'm trying to do 20 minutes of jump rope after the workout, but I think I'm going to try to buy one. Do some here. We got like an open space on the top of our parking garage in the morning. Get after it. But one step at a time. I'm trying to get my breathing right as I talk too. Alright. Welcome to the Early Show. The meat of our episode today is what I have written down is, who do you listen to? So I'm talking about two people today. Two, I would use the word influencers today, that have two completely different perspectives on weight training. Firstly, we have Rick the Stick, Eric Boogs, Ricky Dicky Delhagen. He's a meathead. He was in the WWE, has a semi-large YouTube following, and he's a meathead. He's like 270 pounds, 280 pounds, has some crazy numbers. He's jacked, stacked, and juicy. Second, we have Dr. Mike Israel. He is a PhD. He is a professor at Lehman College in the Bronx. We actually played them when I was playing basketball at Hunter, but I didn't know he was a professor there. I saw him at a bodybuilding show in Pittsburgh, and he is very scientific, science-based. He's a science-based lifter. So when I talk to different people, and when I talk about lifting, I have a philosophy on how I like my training, what my rep scheme is, how much weight do I max out, yada, yada, yada. So when I first started lifting, I watched a lot of Eric Buhagen, Rick Boogs, and he was doing Bulgarian style lifting. In my understanding, that's extreme frequency and heavy fucking weight. It's essentially move weight as much as you can. And when you look at his physique, when you look at his numbers, you're like, shit, like that works. Whereas Dr. Mike, high reps, trained to failure. I believe it's in the 10 to 20 rep range. And it's a really slow eccentric. Pause. Explode. Really slow eccentric. Pause. Explode. What do I have in here? So when you go on Dr. Mike's YouTube channel and look at his training style. Look, he trains some people. He's trained with Will Tennyson, a number of fitness influencers, and he'll take them through a workout according to his philosophy. Whereas if you look at Rick the Stick and Eric lifts with Juji Fumu, they do heavyweight low reps. They're just what I've heard Eric say in his 20-minute rants, move fucking weight. Move fucking weight. Fuck the form. The form will come. Move fucking weight. Which is like, I see Dr. Mike and Eric Boogs at two different ends of the spectrum. Quick break. I want to talk about Manscaped. This is our crop preserver, anti-chafing ball deodorant. I got this by accident. My old roommate accidentally ordered it here. But let me just say, it's fantastic. You want to feel refreshed and have your crops preserved? Check it out. All right. So you may be like, Cole, why are you talking about how these two guys have different perspectives on lifting? Find what works for you. I started on Eric Boogs' kind of mindset, move fucking weight, move weight. And then I found Dr. Mike, and I'm like, oh, he's saying some good points. So I started going really slow eccentric, going to failure, but really lightweight. And when I was doing kind of Dr. Mike's ideology, maybe it was a mental approach that Rick the Stick has a very intense mental approach. But when I was doing Dr. Mike's high rep range, low weight, I mentally wasn't as intense. I approached the lifting sessions a little more preserved. So, but when I was doing his, kind of using his scientific-based ideology, I was preaching it. I was like, no, listen, man, this is how you need to lift. This is the way to grow more muscle. This, like, when I was talking to my other lifting buddies about it, I'm like, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. Looking back, I'm like, I should have told myself, like, oh, shut up. Like, whatever works for you. If you notice significant gains using kind of more Dr. Mike's ideology, keep using Dr. Mike's ideology. If you see significant improvement, physique, weight, use Eric's ideology. So that's my point. I guess when talking to Cole, if I could talk to Cole 3-4 months ago, be like, yo, like, what works for you is cool. Like, what works for Cole won't work for Ernie. And what works for Ernie isn't going to work with Nolan. Like, yeah, they're just different styles of training. And you need to be aware. I don't want to say you need to. I need to be aware that they're just different styles of training. One's not better than the other. Some may work for you here. Some may not work for you there. So I guess my point of this video is just be cautious, be aware that what you consume isn't necessarily what's right. Like Dr. Mike, he has a PhD, it's a little more science-based. But then you look at Rick the Stick's technique, you're like, fuck, dude, like, he's got bro science, but he's jacked. Really comes down what works for you. So when you're talking with your friends, and like, yet again, I fall victim to this. When I'm talking with my friends, I just need to take a step back, be like, it's chill. Like, this is what I'm doing now, rather than this is what you need to do. Because shit, you don't need to do anything. Yeah, that was kind of a little bit of a rant, but that's today's rant. And really, if you take one thing out of this, I think it's important to be aware and be cautious of what you're consuming. Not better or worse, but just be aware that there are different perspectives on all this shit, on all the training styles. Find what works for Cole. Find what works for you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the early show for today. Check out, I really like when I'm watching Rick the Stick and Dr. Mike, because they're so different. Because you're like, shit, like this is They're both jacked and stacked, but they do things completely differently. So I'll attach links to their channels below. Give them a watch, kind of compare yourself, Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Early Show. I'm your host, Cole Earley. Like always, I'll see you next Saturday, if not sooner. Check out Manscaped's Crop Preserver. Thanks for tuning in.